Coming up next on the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast.
And we knew that if we confronted him, that things were going to turn south in a quick hurry. He was going to get disgruntled, angry.
You don't know.
From your first dollar to your first million, welcome to the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast, presented by ZenMade. Join your host, Stephanie Pipkin, founder of Serene Clean, as she shares proven tips, tricks, and hard-earned lessons. Whether you're just starting out or ready to scale, get ready to discover how to build your own cleaning empire. Let's roll up our sleeves and dive in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie from Serene Clean. And in today's episode, I will be interviewing the lovely Hannah Sutton, who has been in my employment for millennia now. How many years?
Going on 5.
Going on
4 for sure.
4, yeah. Between 4 and 5 years, give or take. And she has started as a cleaning tech and has, in the last year, been promoted to our quality assurance and field development specialist, which I've mentioned many times in the podcast, and what a game changer that has been for our quality, for our training. Really, it's just revolutionized a lot of areas of the business. So we're going to delve into Hannah's position as well as her journey and why the heck she's stuck around here for so long. And it's because I just hold you hostage in my basement and let you out to clean.
The weekends.
Yeah, the weekends. She gets the weekends to herself. So Hannah, do tell. You had a long career in health.
Yes.
Health in general.
Health in general. So when I first moved to Black River, I started in sort of the bar industry, waitressing, that sort of thing, and became the front of the house manager. And then
It was haunted there, right?
It was definitely haunted. But that went through a few strings of different owners, and then I got pregnant. So he unfortunately did not like pregnant women, and the bigger I got, the more hours I got cut.
Wow.
And less and less.
Jeez.
So by the time I had a child, I really knew that I wasn't coming back to a position of any kind. However, in the meantime, the bar closed. He got shit-canned.
Oh,
and
good.
Karma got the best of him.
Yeah.
But then after having the first child, I moved into the medical field and actually started like at the bottom in that world in medical records. And within a year, I was upstairs working with the family practice and family doctors.
It's pretty crazy with no like formal training, right?
No formal training. Yeah, they actually owned the facility, so that was the only reason I could jump in and learn on the job training. And they taught me everything. So I worked there, kind of filling in wherever, but mainly had a family practice doctor that I worked one-on-one with in his schedule. And then I had another child. So moving in from that, I transitioned over to the surgeons and then worked with them. And then, unfortunately, I could not let my care for my patients separate from the insurance and the managers and everything else.
The BS of healthcare.
Stop the actual care of the patient. And so, I was actually in there for 16 years before I got out and found your company.
And what were you looking for? Obviously, this is so drastically different than what you were doing. Like, what exactly were you searching for specifically that would be appealing for you in a job at that time?
So my biggest worry was I wasn't going to be able to care for people. That was my thing, is I wanted to care for people who either needed the help or couldn't do it. So that was one of the aspects. And then secondly, just being more in tune to my own family and their needs and being able to be there for them. So just the flexibility of the schedule and the openness of communication and how we kind of jive as a family. So.
Yeah, I mean, did you look at other jobs or did you interview elsewhere? I guess I've never asked you this. Like, or was it like one and done? We were just Mr. Right.
Well, no, I actually fought to work for you.
I don't remember any of this.
I did not get a call back right away. I'm going to be honest.
It's really hard to get, guys. In case you haven't realized, Ashley V had to pursue us. Hannah had to pursue us. Don't be desperate, okay? They can smell it.
But I don't really, I did have a couple other interviews. I actually interviewed, we do have a Ho Chunk clinic, so I interviewed there, interviewed in the pharmacy.
And you applied as a cleaning tech here, and you like pursued us. Why? So
yeah,
tell me, like, so you must have done a group interview, right? Or was
yes,
it? Yes,
you did that with me.
Okay, so you came in with a group interview as well.
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was great until it dawned on me who the other person was.
I don't remember any of this.
Yeah,
Don't say names.
No, I don't even know the name.
Oh, okay.
But I know of the person who was not anybody we should be putting in somebody else's house or alone or anything. So after going through the interview, I thought, well, geez, I was so more worried about them hiring this other person than I was getting the job.
Like, I don't care if you don't have me, but do not hire
that person. And yeah, so I left there feeling okay and almost like I had it because this girl I thought didn't have it. And so I thought I had nailed it. And yeah, it was like 2 weeks later and I hadn't heard anything. I was like, shit. Like, oh, geez. So I actually reached out. We were going to a hockey tournament, and I reached out, and Crystal was like, yeah, at this time, we're not really looking to fill the position. And I was like, oh, dude, that was just like a straw. It was like,
gosh,
darn it. And
oh my God, we almost missed out on you. What the hell?
3 weeks later, I was like, are you sure you're really not looking for somebody? Like, I could really do this.
Yeah. And what are you looking for, part-time or full-time?
No, full-time.
Full-time, yeah. And I'm assuming the reason that Crystal would have given that is if you were looking for full-time and we could not confidently, like, make that happen necessarily, that oftentimes makes us, like, hesitate, you know, necessarily, but clearly you wanted us. So.
I did. Well, and for me, it was like a stretch of time that I didn't really have a job.
Yeah, so stressful, especially for you.
For me, it was like, you know, my finances are still, the bills are still coming and we don't have a paycheck. Yeah. So for me, and I'd never not had a job.
I know, I literally can't imagine you not working. Like, you must have been like this like psycho-depressed person.
Yeah.
Because
for me, on one hand, it was like, did I do, was it really me?
Yeah.
I don't know if I go into that either.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't you. It was probably just our demand at that time, most likely. But yeah, honestly, I don't remember any of this. So.
Here's a good thing. Yeah. I eventually made it to the door.
Yeah, so we're like, we'll give her a shot.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I would say it was about a month and a half. But then, I finally reached back out and she was like, yeah, we can bring you in. And so, ever since then, it was Johnny on the spot. I love this place. Like, just the appreciation of only just simply showing up and doing a great job. And when you get to go home, you just shut it off. Yeah. Or if you take a day off, your jobs don't pile up. It all gets taken care of, and you come back with a fresh slate. Yeah, because I'm sure really recharge. Coming from a professional standpoint, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced, of like your work is waiting for you when you get back, and it's just like this mountain. Where with cleaning, it's like those jobs happened. Like if you take off, it gets covered or whatever. So it's just so different than that. And like you said, turning it off. I know you had mentioned. Previously when we've talked about like the level of stress and never feeling like you can turn work off and like coming from, again, like thinking, why would somebody because I think there's probably a lot of like imposter syndrome from like owners' perspectives of like, why would somebody with a professional background want to clean? Like, why would they want to lower themselves to that, as we all, in the industry have been exposed to those stereotypes or that thought process. And it's just like, at the end of the day, people are burnt out. They're burnt out at these. That you said just the stereotypical thought process of where we're so below everybody. Yeah. Have you experienced that? Well, it's so funny because after leaving the medical side, I always thought like I had a real job and I was in a corporate world and having the benefits of health insurance and being able to take care of my family that way. But I could throw that in the window with dirt if I knew just the morals of appreciation. Yeah, and just like if you're sticking in a job because of the title or maybe the whatever you want to call it, the societal pressure to not do something menial, but you hate your life every day and you just you're never appreciated. And that's like why I think a lot of the people coming from the healthcare industry, which Serene Clean is made up with so many people from the healthcare industry, it's because you guys, one, you know how to work your ass off,
and you have been unappreciated and put through the ringer, you know?
I mean, I can't tell you how many days I went to work just feeling like there's a target on your back and you are going to get written up for some sort of policy that you don't even know.
Yeah.
Or we don't even know. But okay, write it up because it's your policy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Just really like feeling like you're swimming against the current, or you can't win, or people are out to get you.
Out to get you. And the other thing is it was so funny. Like the first time you asked me for my input, I was so hesitant. I was like, I'm not telling her nothing. She's going to take this round, flip it, and stab me in the back.
Yeah.
And that's how it used to go. But it was like, no, they're sitting in the office and I'm out in the field. So how can we make this whole job better?
Yeah,
and let's think about it. Like sometimes when you guys bring things up, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not going to work out there.
Yeah.
Or this is how we need to think about it from the outside aspect of the cleaners on site versus just in the office. So it's so grateful to take that spiel and open it to a conversation.
Well, and I think that like overall, that's the hard part of like going and working for somewhere is they all are going to say that they care about your life balance, they care about you, and it's a great place to work. They're trying to sell yourself. It's just like cleaning services. Everybody says that they're a quality cleaner, which means that word is meaningless. And that's where it's just like the proof is in actions, like in not talk. And I think it takes some time, especially if you've been kind of like traumatized by a workplace, to trust that we are not going to be like that. And we've experienced that with many hires actually, where they're super guarded and like what's it like? They don't trust that our intentions are pure, and they'll act in very strange ways. And like, why are you acting this way? But it's like, it's the last, like they have the baggage from the last workplace of like, when's the other shoe going to drop? You're trying to like trick me. You're trying, like, it's very interesting. And so if you guys ever experience an employee who behaves that way and you're trying to showcase difference, just give it time. You know, it's that consistency of like, now you've worked here for years and seen like, oh, we're not full of shit. This is actually what we are. We're not just a bunch of bitches. I mean, I can be a bitch, though. I think I try not to be.
Meaningful bit.
But
even in like the 16 years of the medical field, like every meeting we had, they had unsurpassed benefits of the community, and nobody else could offer us anything better. But yet we'd walk out and we were being told we were a dime a dozen and could be replaced tomorrow. So
which is it?
And thankfully that after I found you, I've now realized that they are not that, and I can make way more cleaning.
Quick break. If you run a cleaning business, this is for you. The Maid Summit 2025 is the go-to virtual event to elevate your systems, grow your team, and finally get out of the day-to-day. 20 plus speakers, real results, and absolutely zero cost to you. Register today at maidsummit.com. Remember, it's free. Okay, now back to the video.
Yeah, and that's really interesting, and that's where it's like, obviously, you know, talking about the finances of it all. I mean, gosh, you started probably, I mean, we're not going to talk about how much you make now, but like what did you start at? I can't remember.
Oh, gosh.
15, 14?
I want to say 14.
14.
Actually.
So like you left, like you came to work for us for $14 an hour.
Yep.
Like that's freaking crazy to me.
But I knew if I showed up every day and did damn good work,
that it would grow.
You were going to make it worth it for me. So.
And it's interesting of like, you know, as you've seen over the years, like you guys, I think my biggest thing is I want my actions to make it easy for you guys to trust that I'm going to take care of you. Not as like a weird, like toxic parent, but as an employer, like caring for my flock. That's like my flock of sheep. That's how I see. Not that I'm Jesus, but you know, like I'm very like, what can I do for you guys? And like, listen, if you stick by me, I'm going to do right by you. And it's like, especially when it comes to the wages have changed so much since the beginning when I started. And that has to do with pricing, of course, like as we do. So instead of, you know, do pricing increase and just pocket that difference, it's like, that's directly as soon as we do price increase, wages go up, and like
and over the benefits.
Over the benefits.
Like you've always asked us what makes our life easier, or what benefits should we be offering, and I think every time one of my suggestions has been added.
Yeah, and I think, you know, and it was really interesting because I remember specifically, it was a couple of years ago. I remember your answer specifically. How many times can I say specifically?
Drink.
Drink every time I say that. But I remember your answers surprised me. because, and really we asked, all of our techs, like what do they want us to do? Because we were at a crossroads of, we can either increase the wages or we can add other benefits. And really, us in the office, we're just speculating. We're like, they're going to want higher wages. They're going to want higher wages.
Yeah.
And then like asking you guys, and zero of you saying anything about the wages. It was about other things and other things we could make the workplace better. And we've added so many different the last year was the year of benefits, and now I can't afford to add any more benefits. No more benefits for anybody. Nothing until I don't even know when. It'll be a while, but we've done plenty in the past year to make me feel very confident in our benefits package and very competitive, and really showcasing that this is a career that you can do. And I think nobody thinks of cleaning as a career, and so especially coming from, a different type of background, any type of professional background, but that really has been so many of our cleaning techs coming from the bullshit of it all and saying, you know what, I'm tired of it. I want to show up, do some physical labor, make it real. It's real satisfying work, and then just go. And so at the end of the day, if you can, make it culturally attractive, I think that will make people like you, I would never on paper expect that you would be attracted. It's just like Ashley V, who I interviewed. Like, on paper, in no world would I say that she would want to do this job. Right. But it's like, don't assume about people. You don't know where they're coming from and what the experience, because for you, it's like, it's a breath of fresh air to just show up and clean.
Right. Yeah. Well, and you don't have all the other policies and people attacking you from every different direction. Yeah, I could take care of my patients, but it was all the managerial stuff that you had to deal with afterwards. Yeah. And just because this person was related to that person, they got special privileges. No, it's straight across the board here.
Yeah, kind of the cattiness of a workplace, and even serving definitely was like that too in a lot of ways. Of like, you gave her the good table because you're sleeping with her, that type of stuff. So it definitely is like, I would say, no drama here is very important. And honestly, we built our business to not allow for it. Why we run individual cleaners.
There's another thing, Steph. It's so funny. Like, we all are women, and usually there's like 3 women at your job that you can't work with. And just their mannerisms, they click their pen, they snap their gum. I don't care what it is. We don't have any of that.
I am the pen clicker, but we don't work together.
Aren't you? And it's so funny. Like, every time I'm sitting next to Kate, I'm eating my lunch, and I'm like,
to not be
but it's like, no, we don't have any of that.
Yeah.
And if we do have beef with one another, like, we're putting a corner, fighting it out by ourselves, and then fresh games. Like, it's really just the tone, or somebody was having a bad day, but we always talk about it.
But we all sync up on our cycles, I feel like, and it's just a shit show. Like, everybody's just everybody's just at the same time. Sorry, men listening.
A week later.
Everything's rainbows after that. Yeah. But and it's interesting because, like what you just said, very rarely do we even have cleaners working together at all.
Right.
So it just doesn't, like, that's why I know people love teams, and I'm not saying teams don't work. The BS that we would have to deal with shoving a bunch of women together cleaning, like the problems we just avoid in the management that we avoid by doing that is great. And obviously you do run teams for first time cleans or move outs or whatever, or if it's a really time sensitive thing, but then it's kind of a delight to work with each other because you're not getting annoyed.
We don't just see them either, so it's fun. I mean, we do make it fun.
Yeah, and like you said, if we, on the very rare occasion we do have, and usually, like you said, it's a tone thing where somebody says something, and
somebody just quick reaction. Didn't think about.
But we, and we really like tried to encourage, like, hey, if something happens, let us know, and then we facilitate a conversation. And I remember that happened a couple months ago, and Crystal went and sat down the 2 ladies. And they both cried and hugged each other, and they were so happy that, like, we facilitated that connect, like, and they actually, like, realized that they had so much in common. And it was just like, that snappiness, like, we say things dumb sometimes or come across in a way that we don't realize until after the fact. And so instead of, like, just letting that simmer, and all of a sudden you got 2 women who don't like each other, like, when we take the reins and say, no, we're fixing this right now, we're going to sit and talk it out. What did you mean by this? What do you think of that? And, like, I know it sounds like a lot of work, but that's managing, guys. Like, that's managing human beings.
Well, shoot, that's That's cookies.
Yeah, it's nothing
to anything that you just internalize for years and then snap.
Yeah,
so.
and exactly. And honestly, even just like for you, now you are in your role. So like hopping back to just timeline wise, so you were full-time cleaning tech for years now, and then what was it, 6 months ago we introduced this new role. And honestly, like we knew that we're like, that's what we want, but we didn't think you were gonna want it because of the, I think, hours or something. I can't even remember.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I can't remember, but we didn't want to assume you wanted it. I don't know. I don't even remember. But like clearly we had you in mind, but we opened it up and you applied for it. So what drew you to what your current role is compared to being cleaning tech?
For one, I think it was just a moving up, and growing.
Mm-hmm.
I need to just continually,
Now you're going to own the company soon. You'll be me soon.
Making myself better, working it up the ladder.
I'm just like, you're being so serious. I'm just so full of shit right now.
Started at the bottom, working my way up. But no, I knew that your intentions were good.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the company and the reasoning behind what we're doing is in tune with my side of beliefs and morals and all of that. And I knew that we're working as a team. I'm not a manager. I'm not really, a supervisor or large margin charge, but I don't care about the title. Yeah. It was more getting everybody on the same page. Nobody's getting lost in the transit. We're all getting trained the same way. Yeah.
So talk about
finalizing.
Let's just describe for the audience, like what is your role and what are your responsibilities right now?
So I would say mainly it's was honing in on that training process, just getting one specific person to just train them or our new techs, for a good week. And making sure that they're getting all the same things.
Consistency. We were really struggling with consistency in training because we would just have them tag along with any seasoned cleaner, including you, but like they were just getting a lot of different mixed signals.
Different ways. Yeah. And I don't care. Yes, there's 50 ways to skin a cat, and as long as the end result is the same, I don't care how you get there. Yep. However, we do kind of have a strategic that we know works. Yep. And so we got to hone that in a little bit. But then secondly, just knowing that we could make it grow. We just never know with what different clients' houses are going to entail, what kind of weird things you're going to encounter. What is going to happen. Doors are locked. You don't have codes to get in. Like, how do you handle that? Some of these girls are pretty young, so they don't know how to get to somewhere or follow the GPS to read an address or...
you're almost having to teach them like life skills. And some of our best staff members are very, very young. And so it's definitely not necessarily like we make blanket statements ever about somebody's like age and if they, like young people don't want to work, that type of thing. But more so we have to teach them a lot of basic skills. Yeah. And it's not their fault. They've not been taught.
Troubleshoot things. Yeah. I mean, I've gone into houses where I have the sewer back up on me, and I'm standing there going, oh shit, it's coming. Do I grab the towels and surround it? Or what do I do? Do I try and clean the shit out? Because it's literally paper towel and toilet paper and shit coming. How fast do I clean this up?
Oh, geez.
So those sorts of things you can't really train on.
No, you can't, but there is certain things we can. There are consistent, like, random things that we know cleaners are going to run into, and now we've just built those into the control homes, so that now they instead of just telling them, this is how you deal with being locked out, this is how you deal with if something is broken in a house, we literally build those scenarios into the control homes, the manager's houses in your home, and we run them through it, and that means they're going to remember because they actually did the thing instead of just being told it. So,
and even like we have fake blood and fake poop.
Yeah,
so
it's really lifelike looking poop. That dog poop looks crazy.
It does, and I think 90% of them do think it's real when I first look, and I'm like,
geez, like Crystal's got shit on her floor. What's wrong with this? This is the head of a
I know she walked right by this because it's right by the door, and there's no dogs home when we get there.
Yeah, so. It's fake. It's from Amazon. Link in bio.
But just like having a conversation about those, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And the blood, same thing. Most people are like, oh my my gosh, I'm not touching that. Okay, you don't have to.
You don't, because we don't do, we don't do that. And so it's good to like run them through this in a controlled scenario and like prep them. And it really hones their problem solving skills, because I would say just the hand holding is what's really frustrating with cleaning techs, where they just have no ability to problem solve. And how do you like facilitate that thought process? It's difficult. Some people just are good at it. You are the MacGyver, right? Like you are Hannah MacGyver Sutton. You can figure anything out. And I would say the most successful cleaning techs can do that. You know what I mean? They're really the most successful people in life. You can walk into any scenario and problem solve. And literally, like that's what, like even before like you were in your current role, that was literally when we were scheduling, was like, well, we don't know what this is going to be like, send Hannah. Because we know we know, whereas other cleaners were like, oh no, they can't handle the stress of it.
Well, and that's the other thing, is you just never know what kind of situation you're going to walk into. I mean, you could walk into a horror house. You could walk into a mansion that's glistening from the time you walked in. Why are we here? We still do it.
Yeah.
And it can be overwhelming. It really can be.
And how do you coach and be, like talking about the overwhelm, because, a lot of people freak out and quit because they just like, how do you coach our new hires through that?
So I'm just going to start with like more of a like kid room, stuff's all over, teenage garbage, that sort of clothes all over. And I just tell them you have to start in one thing. Pick up everything. Pick up the garbage. All the like items, start there. The dirty clothes, put them in a pile. Once you have the dirty clothes and the garbage out of there, the obvious garbage, it's really down to the nitty-gritty.
And it really is like, sometimes we do this, sometimes we don't. It's a lot of times a time thing, too.
It's a time thing,
It's like, do we have time to handle this, like, clutter? Because otherwise, as a rule, we work around it. But then if we do have time in the approved, and this is where this may not apply to you guys or you may have to work this in a different way, because we charge hourly. That means there is an approved number of hours to work off of. And if we're going to run out of time and it's super cluttered, they're not getting any, decluttering or not even decluttering. They're not getting any organization. We're cleaning as much as we can. But if there is time, then we'll do it. Whereas if you're charging flat rate, that's where scope creep, and you have to be really, really, really explicit with what you do and don't do, because otherwise, what we're talking about right now, how would you handle it? So you need to think about those things. But for us, like, it's easy, it's cut and dry. 10 man hours, okay, like, can I get all of this done, all of our normal stuff, and extra organization, or like you said, the decluttering, or not decluttering. I keep using that word, not decluttering, but getting rid of, like, picking stuff up and toys and things like that.
Yeah, just getting back to a normal kind of where do you start? And then once you have that done, you just have to. It depends on the kid. And it depends on what's really in there. Like yesterday, we had the toy room. Okay, so this is like a 7-year-old kid with every trinket and golly, every toy has 500 little pieces. And so it was like, just start with the kitchen stuff. All the food type like items goes in the kitchen area, and just kind of all the artsy craftsy goes in another pile, and just kind of work your way around and move and do the best you can. I think when you're in those type of situations, anything is helpful, and they're just looking for a how do I start?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Even more as a mom, I think it's easier for somebody else to come in and just let them get a jump start. Yeah, we're not getting rid of your clothes. If you want to sit down and do that with me, I'm happy to go through every piece of clothing, but it's going to take way longer. And organizing like a closet in that type of way, where we don't really get into that spectrum of things. However, I'm loving that. There's one new job.
Well, I was going to push us for that. Honestly, we're kind of just going all over the place, but it's the training aspect of her job, and it reminds me of, we have to tell the story of that, like, hoarding house, like in Melrose, the apartment, right? Yeah. So this was one where I came in one day and you came in the next day, I think, or you came and joined. I can't remember. But anyway, so I was with one cleaning tech, and we walk in, and I luckily had COVID. Like,
you couldn't smell.
I couldn't smell anything, and that was perfect for this job, because you did not want to smell this. There was just overflowing cat poop and litter all over the place, dirty diapers. And so the landlord had evicted this family and we came in to like empty it out. And this is another one of those things of like me asking you guys, do you want to do this? But I like to do that personally. So we're in there and the other cleaning tech, she just starts like dry heaving at the smell. And I'm like, can you get it together? Like, it's not that bad, but that's because I couldn't smell. It was probably horrific. But then you come in and we're just chucking stuff away.
Oh, and we were going to town.
Yeah.
It was so
fun. Yeah. And so just like, you know, that's the thing is, you know, people like this or they don't, you know, you really can't force it. And I mean, we would never put somebody in a hoarding situation unless they were like open to it. But yeah, it was really fun, I will say.
You just never know what you're going to find or the state or the condition it is. And most people are just so beside themselves or appalled at themselves that they let it get that far.
Yeah, the shame is crazy.
The shame, yeah.
Well, and really like coaching our cleaning techs about that, like that's really, really important to us that we never make people feel ashamed. And even like slight corrections, like what kind of corrections do you do on cleaning techs on what they verbalize? Like, can you talk about that?
Yeah, so, well, one, we always have to think that we're being like taped or recorded or something on camera because 90% of the time there is something somewhere. But just not verbalizing, you know, like the ewes or the or
the kind of natural of like,
like just don't respond, like, you know, just take it in before you like respond. But even yesterday, like that was at my house in my kids' toy room, and I purposefully left it like that just to show her. And when she was explaining, I said, "Well, how did it go?" You know, and she too hesitated because I think she thought she was going to offend me, and it was like. No, I left it like this. Not that it doesn't look like you would walk in on random. I'm sure the toy room in our house is disastrous. But just the way I said, "Oh, how did it go? You know, how hard did you have to work?" And she's like, "Oh, I had to use some elbow grease." And I said, "Okay, good."
That's a good way to phrase it though. And and even like the things of like the words that we use, we tell them to use the word build up.
Build up.
We use the word build up.
Dirty or disgusting.
Yeah, like this is freaking horrific. Like we would never say that. We may think it, but like, you know, point being is just like they've shamed themselves enough, and for them to pick up the phone and call us was a monumental task. All right. And so they're already feeling so vulnerable and they're already hating on themselves. Like it takes one word for them to, you know, just never trust again, never trust a cleaner again. And that's happened to so many people before. It actually happened to one of my podcast guests. It's live already. Brenna Sledge, who opened a cleaning service. She had that experience where it got around that the cleaner was like shit talking basically. And so it's just like, we never ever want to we want this to be positive in all aspects, not only in the actual results of the cleaning, but in the experience itself to make them feel good. Like I did something for myself. I deserve this. I deserve a clean home. And like, if we're going to do anything to make them feel worse, like that's like the exact opposite of what I want, you know, not only just from like a business standpoint, it's bad for business, but it's like, that's shitty. You know what I mean? That's not what we're about here.
What person are you?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm definitely, you know, had my moments where I'm like, oh my God, like, but I would never like say it, you know?
When it's just like, man, it's got to take a shitty situation to get.
And really having that immediate empathy of like, it's bad. That doesn't just happen in a void. You know what I mean? Like, is there sickness, mental health illnesses, you know, just overwhelmed. They're working 2 jobs, like blah, 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 like all of the things. It's just, And so just like really having a strong sense of empathy and like that I would say to describe you as a person, like just like that can do attitude of like tackling things. Like you assess it and you immediately go into like, let's do this mode. And you just don't really get overwhelmed. I feel like
I try really not to. And that's another thing I teach them is, you know, most of the time when you're walking in as a new tech, you never feel like you have enough time. No matter how much time you're given, you never feel like you have enough. And even I was that way. Like, I'm fairly quicker.
You're the fastest cleaner that's ever walked this world.
I didn't want to say that.
Yeah. The Speedy Gonzalez right here.
But yeah, even I was in that same boat. Like, holy shit, you want me to do all of this in 4 hours? And it's just really knowing what you can do in one swipe versus going back 50 times to complete each task. When you look at our checklist, it's lengthy. And probably each room has 8 to 10 tasks in it. And when you walk into a room,
It's overwhelming.
Feels overwhelming. However, it's just a mindset thing. Like, we train our cleaners to start in wet rooms, per se, the kitchens and the bathrooms. And so that's what I tell them. I want you to read through your notes, and if something's not clear on exactly what they mean, or things we do or we don't do, however the situation might go, start in your bathroom.
Yep.
Start cleaning your bathroom. Just think about the questions and what are you questioning?
Yep.
Is it a concerning thing like that needs to go to the homeowner, or is it something that another cleaner might know?
Yeah.
And you're just confused on what it really means.
Yeah.
And so just take the time, think about it for 20 minutes to a half an hour while you clean that bathroom. You know the things that need to be done in there, and then reassess the situation. Is it something you figured out? 90% of the time, by the time I'm done with that bathroom, I have figured it out, and I don't need to reach out.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, if you do, we're also open. It takes 30 seconds to raise the question. And most of the time, somebody out there in the field knows.
And we really would just prefer them to, like, obviously problem solving as much as possible. But, like, if something's unclear, like, that's potentially an admin issue, like, meaning our notes are not clear. Like, we don't want people to be able to question what they're supposed to do. And if they are, it means something is unclear. You know, we are explaining something wrong. We don't have, like, the clearest notes, or we need to clarify with the client exactly what's happening. You know, as obviously, like, you've been here for a long time, like, you've seen how the notes in ZenMaid have evolved to help reflect, and, you know, even, you know, every day when Crystal's like, update your notes to reflect, like, if somebody else had to fill in for you, what do they need to know about this house
the
to be successful?
expectations of the client. What are they expecting?
Yep.
And so making sure that we're all on the same page. What we're going to do is either what the client is expecting, or we can explain to them why it's not going to be or meet their expectations.
Yeah, exactly. And just making sure that it is a reasonable request on their part. And the biggest thing, and one of the things that we really always want to prevent, is that client tells us something in the office, and then that did not get translated correctly to the cleaner. And now we have a really pissed off, disappointed client because they told us what they wanted. We did not deliver because of our inability to communicate effectively to the cleaner, or the cleaner's inability to understand, which at the end of the day is still on us, right? So,
one time too, or on the flip side, is everybody reads it differently, or takes it differently.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with our meeting minutes. You know, we're reading the same thing, but when we have our meetings on Monday, because we all meet together every Monday, we have a further discussion about it. So if you're not present at those meetings, it goes down the translation pipeline, and the meeting minutes get sent out, and we're all required to read them. But sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
Oh,
Like, what are we really talking about? Well, what do they really mean?
Yeah, and even that happened, I think yesterday with the cleaning, where, cleaning tech, the notes were, make the bed if clean linens are available, right? That's the note. And that was, like, put in. And so, but we don't wash laundry anymore at houses.
Oh, yes.
But the tech interpreted that as, I need to, like, wash the sheets. But it was truly like, there was no clean linens, so don't make the bed. So she interpreted that of, I guess I need to wash the sheets. And she's sending us questions about the dryer. And we're like, why are you doing laundry? What is going on here? And it's like, it wasn't clear. And so here we are. And so just really, like, every time a situation, like, little things like that happen all the time, you just constantly tweak and improve and get more clear on what the expectation is, so that happens fewer and fewer. But it still happens,
It does. Well, because we used to do laundry.
Yeah, exactly.
And so for us, that's a hard one to flip off, because now we don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, so, so that's all, like, training. And obviously we could talk about training for hours. And I know that that's, like, a big topic of interest for people. But for you, like, when you are training, and, like, obviously you're reporting back to us every single day, how is it going? Like, what are the standout, like, if you were to pick, like, 3 green flags and 3 red flags of somebody, like, new? Because I know a lot of the people listening, they're new owners, and they have not necessarily honed the skill of hiring and deducing if somebody's good. So obviously we're trying to give you the best possible people to train. But sometimes they slip through the cracks because they are really good at bamboozling us during interviews, or we just had to hire quickly, or whatever, all of that good stuff. So say we give you a new person to train. Tell me, what makes them good?
Yeah.
What would stand out of like, yep, they're going to be great?
So one, they have to show up.
Yes, so that's number one.
Just show up.
Yeah, right. Warm body. Yep.
Yeah, warm body. No, but I mean, in all honesty, I have not really had anybody that hasn't shown up. They maybe left early or had an emergency and had to go or some crazy story like that. But yeah, number one is you got to show up and show up consistently.
Yeah,
you can do that.
If the first week they're like I mean, we have had ones like had just a really shitty first week and it was bad timing, and that has happened, but it's rare. Yeah.
And most of the time, if it's logistical things, your car broke down. Typically, that happens in the first week of a new job. Your kids are always sick. That's always going to happen. But if that's truly the case, we usually can tell, and that's it's a given. It's going to happen. It's life. That's how it goes. So, number one, you got to show up. Secondly, though, so how we do it is they watch me go through pretty much a whole house or entire complete spaces, meaning kitchen, bathrooms, bedrooms, an entire space. And then once they've seen that space, they're kind of allowed to go out on their own or tackle what they think they can. So that's my second green flag, is if they're willing to tackle something. And then thirdly, I usually give them specifics, whether it's, usually you work around this room or like I try to do 3 things depending on the room of like, do this way. And this is when I want you to do it. And it's just whether they can follow those. It's just simple, stupid instructions. And it's usually not any big deal if they don't do it that way. It's just whether they followed those directions. If they can read the notes and then just going off those and doing it. Red flags. We do a lot of communication on our phones. So we have our phones on us all the time. But when I'm cleaning, are they on their phone? Like I say, family happens, messages come in, we communicate with the staff or with the managers on our phones. So we're always constantly glancing at them. Notifications come up. And I would say, yes, that is normal. And I do tell them, if a phone call or family calls, kids call, something happens, please, by all means, take the phone call if needed. So that happens throughout the day. But if they're constantly
excessively on their phone, when they're
supposed
to be paying attention.
When they're supposed to be paying attention. The other one I would say is if I try to make small talk, I'm just like, what's their family like, that sort of thing. And if they say, well, I don't really talk to my family or I'm not really connected, it's not necessarily a red flag, but it's like, do we have other issues then? Are we going to have other issues with things?
Because I would say like a chaotic personal life, unfortunately, is probably one of the biggest reasons people leave or can't make it, is just like they are not capable of holding down a job right now. And it sucks because some of them are the best cleaners. They're so good and they can't, like, it is not the right time for them. And we give a lot of chances here for sure, but it's like, okay, our clients are really suffering. Your coworkers are really suffering because the lack of, dependability in this manner. And so making those calls, like, sometimes really hard. We just had to do that in the last month. Fire a great cleaner because her life was an absolute shit show right now. And it sucks because it's not all her fault, like, or anything like that. It's just the circumstances. And so sometimes honestly, like, the business decisions is really hard. It's tough when you like them. And especially when you like them, it's like, I like you, you're a great cleaner. Like, clients love you, great reviews, all of these things. And yet it's still not good for the business to keep you here. And, you need to focus on getting your life together. And I don't mean that in any type of negative way. We've all been, well, most of us, I don't know, Hannah, because you're like a cyborg, but most of us have at some point in our lives been very unreliable because of our own personal lives, or just going through a really hard time. And it's hard to know sometimes if this is just you're going through that hard time and you're going to come out of it, or is this just what your life is like? Is it just chaotic? And it's really hard to discern that sometimes.
It is, because a lot of people just paint you this picture or say what you want to hear. And the third one I would say is like we carry a lot of supplies, and so it's like, holy shit, are they just all over the place?
Yeah.
Are they, can they come in, set things down, and just gather their thoughts? Or are they coming in just a flailing?
Yeah, really, just wriggly and move a lot. Like, I don't know how to explain. Like, calm down.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember what she's no longer with us.
Yeah.
She was great. But she would come in like a fucking Tasmanian devil. I mean, shit's clicking.
It make the client nervous.
Yeah, like I would get nervous, and I was like, dude, are you okay for now? Like, you just need to step out to the car and just take a breather.
Yeah, exactly.
And
smoke a cigarette. Like,
and she would just frazzled. She would, she was just kind of throwing things, and it was like, whoa, just I like to move fast.
Yeah, no, and I would say I'm a obviously, like anybody watching this knows I cannot sit still. But it's not like that. But it's like even the way we speak of like, are we putting the client and our coworkers at ease or on guard? And like that does it.
I mean, she would just come in and be like, "Oh my gosh, do you know what happened?" I was like, "Fucking breathe, dude. You're making me fucking nervous." Yeah, I would have to go out and take a minute just to get her off.
Yeah, that takes a lot. For
she was great, but it was like, holy shit, are you coming in like that?
It really is an impressions thing. No, I get that. So these are some good things to look for sure. And obviously there's a million like nuanced things of what makes a good or a bad employee, or like trying to protect ourselves from wasting time and money.
That's what it is. Yeah. We really want to spend the dedicated time to them, so we're not setting them up for failure.
Yeah, and so once they go through weeks of the week of training, and then going with other cleaners, and then finally getting them on their own houses, only to realize, or they quit because that's just
they're really so overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's like so. Yeah, even like today we had that conversation in our ops meeting of like, okay, like this is. We've had now recently multiple hires who the physicality of it, they don't realize it until they're into it. And it's like, well, how can we like show this even more? That this is like I don't know how to show this more, but like having that discussion of like, how do we be as clear as possible as to what this job is actually going to be like, and just trying to vet better. And so we talked about like revamping and having the second interview be a lot more about the physicality of it, so that we can make sure if it's not a good fit, we don't waste their time and we don't waste our time,
Yeah, and we don't need to be lifting 50 pounds,
but
repetitiously, but it is physical labor. We are not sitting on our ass. And I would say that would be another thing, is if they're leaning. Like leaning
or sitting. Yeah, in general. Like sitting is not allowed for our cleaning techs, really. I mean, what, if you clean an oven, you can sit on your stool?
I don't. Yeah. That's just me.
Yeah. I really don't know if we even allow it, honestly.
There's few out there, but I think it's more like cabinet fronts or the interiors, like deep cleaning desks. But
and even still, but if they just constantly are trying to sit down, it's like, that's not this kind of job. And I'm not obviously like, it's not like you don't get to sit like in between houses or whatever, but you're on your feet. That's what this job is. And there's no way to clean a house on your butt. So.
No, not really.
Not really. So
stair railings.
Yeah. Well, and it affects your speed, because as soon as you sit down, it's like listening to a slow audiobook. You can't do it while you clean. You got to listen to whatever. But yeah, so that's kind of like the training aspect, and now like discussing the quality control aspect. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So that position we transferred about 6 months ago, you were saying. So yeah, that's about right. But just really doing a hone in on all of our commercial accounts and making sure they're all up to snuff. Sometimes it's months before somebody gets back in there to get a quality check clean. And a lot of those tests we're not doing every day, but they still need to be kept up on. So just making sure those odds and end things are being done or kept up on. I mean, we have some bigger commercial accounts, and there's some pretty nice facilities. So when those are new, we try and keep them looking new. And so just getting those details or making sure that those are being followed up on and things aren't getting built up on, and then we have to spend way more time on them.
And so you're doing at a minimum every single account for us. We have, I think, like 64-ish commercial accounts right now. Every single account gets in-person quality checked at least once per quarter, and then you are emailing them once per month. as a virtual check-in to give them an opportunity to share any feedback, good or bad, just to really have those touch points. And honestly, we've seen that's been really great. I mean, we already were attempting to do it before, like having this position, but it was just really overwhelming for the managers. Like that's where you came in of like, this is your responsibility. And now it's getting done like consistently. And we're really seeing we're not getting complaints, you know, like we may be getting proactive feedback of like, yeah, this hasn't been looking great. And then we can nip it in the bud. It never gets to the actual complaint level. Or
to the point where they're upset about it. Yeah. And now they have to bring it to our attention.
So just being proactive and giving, you know, saying we want to know, like, I think it's really helped with our client satisfaction as well as, I mean, even just with cleaners, like they're kicking it into gear because they're getting checked. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because the women and the men that we have don't see it the same way.
Yeah, so for sure.
That's the other thing is when I'm on site doing the quality check, I do try to talk to employees on site and see what their personal opinions are.
Meaning like the employees of our commercial accounts, like Hannah actually will ask them like, how's it going? Because remember, it's not just the stakeholders as in who pays the bills. Every employee in that building is a stakeholder because they can go and bitch to the person who pays the bills, or they can give your cleaner a hard time if they're doing a bad job. Like it's actually like, interestingly enough, you think that commercial accounts, like personality doesn't matter, but I look at some of our like longest commercial cleaners and their accounts are eaten out of their hands. Mm-hmm. They love them. Or even like Lori, like the cleaners, her and the employees like play pranks on each other. Like they have that rapport. And that means that if something is like, you know, maybe not going so well, not that that would happen with Lori specifically, but if, you know, hypothetically that were happening and they like the cleaner, they're much more likely to have some leeway or just tell us. Instead of going to their boss and being like, this is shit, this is terrible. And then all of a sudden it's this whole thing. Yeah. So, you know, it is important to have commercial cleaners that have, you know, like that customer service, you know, and obviously we do a lot of daytime commercials. So if you're cleaning all at night, like, and your cleaners aren't seeing the people, it doesn't really matter, but that's not the case for us. They see a lot of people.
They do. And two, just making sure that our staff is looking professional and, you know, they're not all discombobulated and carrying their carts or bags or whatever they're carrying around.
Yeah, you're doing the ones like, so when she does the QCs on the actual accounts, but then also on the other flip side of that, it's every single employee. So it's like, regardless of where they are, they're getting QC'd. And it's not just the quality of the clean, you're looking at them as an entire entity. Like, can you describe that?
I would say like from the point of like what they're looking like or dressed in is all the way down to like their supplies and tools. Are they all in good working condition? Are they filled? Checking their vacuums to making sure that they're maintaining them slightly.
The filter sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just crazy. Yeah. And that too, we have to teach them.
Yeah, to how to maintain a vacuum. They don't know, and you can't just assume that they do, and so we don't assume it. We teach them.
We do. Yep, yeah. I take that baby all apart one by one and show them everything that comes apart. And most of the time, they're pretty fascinated, so it's good.
Their home vacuums are looking spiffy now, because we taught them, I'm sure.
Yeah, and that's another funny thing. On the fourth day, I always have the new text. They're like, oh, well, I noticed my microwave was not up to par. Yeah, go clean that bad boy.
It's so interesting because it's like we teach them how to see.
Yes.
Like, that's what it is.
See and feel. You got to feel. A lot of my job is on feel. I actually... a lot of my job is on feel.
I don't wear gloves ever except on toilets, and I'm bad toilets.
That's about it. But if I'm going to go check a regular home bathroom with a shower and tub, that's the first thing I'm going to do is rub all the way around that bad boy, and then look at my hand. But even checking, you know, our supplies and everything that we keep on site. Is it neat and tidy and orderly? That sort of thing.
Just looking like a professional entity that because it's all of that. All of those micro impressions really matter. And if we're going to be charging these luxury prices and really boasting about our company, it's like every single detail matters to us. And it doesn't mean that we're psychos, but I would say we're psychotic about quality, we're psychotic about professionalism. Like, that's all very important. And obviously, like, every single interview with all of the staff members that they're going to be seeing, you'll see like we're all like very relaxed and casual. Like, obviously you're seeing how me and Hannah are interacting. Like, it's like, who's the boss here? I don't even know. But the point being is like, I can be relaxed because out in the field, it is game time. It's game time, like show time, and it better be like on. And so, yeah, like I can be really chill and stuff, but you start doing a shitty job, there goes chill Stephanie out the window. Because
and that's just like, we rocked it all day.
Yeah.
We're stopping for soda and pizza afterwards.
Like, almost said beer. You almost said beer.
I did beer. But yeah, let's go grab a pop and just reminisce about how great it went. Like, we nailed it today. So let's take that.
Yeah, we don't do that when you do a bad job. You know, and honestly, it's like we have this like I don't want to boast, but like this culture of excellence that's been curated, so that if you are shitty at your job, you stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah,
like it's so obvious, and we police ourselves almost.
And we really don't have to say anything.
No.
Like they're getting it internally, just from
the shame. Yeah, exactly. And that's the nice thing is like now we have this like such strong crew of really excellent cleaners, and really just
they all take such pride in their work. Yeah.
And how do we facilitate that by like the highlighting, the affirmation, calling out any positive feedback. Like that's very important to us, but I think that helps them learn to take pride, maybe where they wouldn't have otherwise. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like I did do a good job. Yeah. And I think that, and especially coming back to like the whole like societal like view of cleaning and things like that, it's like I think we really just flipped it on its head of like we're damn proud of what we do. You know, like we kill it every day. It's not every company that could say we've got 30 people hitting excellence every single day, and we have we've had 0 complaints in over a month now.
And you want to make fun of me because I'm cleaning your toilet? I'm gonna laugh at you.
Exactly. And also,
you can go to your little corporate job and sit in your little cubicle and do whatever you want.
And you very well could be making more than them. You know what I mean? So it's like at the end of the day, we'll be laughing all the way to the bank. It is filthy rich cleaners. But the point is just like, I think just being really strong and like, I know we make a difference, and I'm proud of like the effect we have on people's lives where, people could be pencil pushing and literally have no bearing on any like effect of anything. Like they're just a cog in the machine, and I think it's really important here that everybody feels like that's not the case. Like we're not, the whole, not just a number, like that's true, and we really see each other as individuals, I would say. And even in the team meeting, like half the meeting is about not work, we're just talking about us or like our weekends. Like we just go around the circle and like, how was your weekend? Anything exciting? Any crazy shit? Because there's always something that happened. But then it helps us know each other and understand like, oh, you're having a hard time right now. Like this, it gives us, I guess, some context to each other as people. Because at the end of the day, I know that a lot of people have come from places where it's like, it's work and it's life, and you do not commingle your personal life and your work. But it's just like, we see you guys as you're full humans, and you can't separate your work and your life. I mean, you try to compartmentalize, and obviously, like, we literally have said, like, if you're having such a shitty time and it's going to affect the work,
let us know.
Let us know and call in. We don't want you there. We do not want you there. Take a mental health day. Literally. Yeah, you need it. And, because you're crazy. Just kidding. For most of the day. Yeah, take the week. Jeez. But, like, I mean, we've had that happen before where, like, people have came back after they've done poor quality work, and they're like, well, I was having a bad day. Like, what do you want from me? And like, we want you to call in because now I had to pay you to do it. The customer has had a bad experience. I have to pay somebody else to go back and fix it. And overall, it's now administrative, some labor and some frustration on that part and chaos. You calling in would have eradicated all of that. All of it. So it's just like, call in. I'd rather you do that. And just like literally just boldly stating things like that.
And I think that goes back to before. We were so used to our work piling up that if we called in, we have double the work tomorrow. And if we're taking off, we double our work before we go and double it when we come back. So that's the other thing is just take the time. If you need the time, take the time. And then the next day will be 50,000 times better.
Yeah. And then coming back to like just, obviously quality checking is a big part of your role. So you're doing that every single week. You're doing training. Probably it just depends on our hiring, flow, but usually it's every other week or at least once a month now.
For sure.
And then you're on call. I mean, you're cleaning. 15, 20 hours a week minimum, I would say.
I mean, it gives your takes on the call-ins. Of course, that always is fluctuating, but that's the other thing is sometimes our schedule can change. We all know what we're working. We're all available for a certain amount of time. So the flip of the schedule doesn't
stress you out. And it's just the expectation. And we've really tried to like make sure that that's clear of like, listen, if you say that you're available during this time, we can book you at any time for that, meaning even today, later today, if you have open availability, if you don't want us to book it, you need to let us know so that we take that availability out. Right. And like, you know, it's just like, changes happen every single day.
Well, and that's the other thing. If we have available hours and we're blocked for that and something comes up where it's, dang, it's super nice out, I just want to go fishing.
We did, just tell us.
Say that. Just say that. If somebody's drowning, I don't like to see other people drowning. Yes. So if I know somebody's close to me, I'm happy to help out. But yeah, we all have those times. And if the availability is there or we're open, we can utilize somebody else. By all means, just take that time or ask us.
And that's what a lot of our cleaning techs will do is be like, hey, I see that nothing's been booked for tomorrow afternoon. I'd like to request it off if that's all right. Just, because I want to do these things. Is that okay? And we're like, yeah, go ahead. Just so that, again, we just don't want to book them and they've already made plans. That's the biggest thing. And it's really a communication thing. And obviously, it's like,
the other thing I think is we all were in a position before, at least I was, where it was like, oh shoot, I'm going to hold my breath and just make sure I'm going to pray that I can get out by 4 o'clock, but I'm not going to say anything. And then 3:55 comes and something gets added and you're like, God darn it, now you're mad.
Yeah.
Whereas you should have just said something.
Yes, exactly.
And it could have been covered.
And really just honing in on if we're feeling resentful for really the whole team, if you are feeling unhappy or resentful, keeping that in, I think we've proven time and again, that's the goal of we are going to listen to you, we're at least going to take your feedback for sure. And it's not 95% of the time a change is going to be implemented based on that feedback. And so they learn to trust you, and then the beautiful thing is, okay, now I have this, I have my flock of really strong cleaning techs, right? And I have my flock of managers who've experienced years of me proving time and again and us proving time and again, we've got your back. We know what's we're here for what's best for you and we're going to stand by you and all of these things. So you build this consistency in behavior. You guys sell Serene Clean. Yeah. New cleaner comes in, brand new person. They've never interacted with us before. They've been razzle-dazzled by the interview process. They got this gorgeous orientation. And then we put them with cleaning techs who have worked with us, or you now, who have worked. And so, you're selling us. You know what I mean? You're this is a great place to work. And so, but you have to be a great place to work because, people, the bullshit meter is high when you're talking to HR, when you're talking to management or the owners, you could totally BS somebody, but the same person in your position, somebody is not going to BS about that. You're going to come and be like, oh, I wouldn't want to work here. Well, get out while you can. If that joke is made, it's just there's something wrong. But if you're seasoned people who have been here for years and there's longevity there, and obviously some of you guys are just starting out, but if somebody new comes in and says because before we had longevity, it's yes, that's great. That would be, and I didn't have a lot to offer, but it's it's really flexible. Steph's great. She'll listen if, you need blah, blah, blah. And so that consistency and behavior was built to the point now, I don't need to do any type of selling. You guys sell it for us. Meaning, and by selling to employees, we've got 2 audiences here. We got clients and we got employees. And honestly, as we talked about supply and demand, our supply, meaning employees, that needs to be strong. Otherwise we can't grow. We can't adapt and, deal with turnover. So yeah, it's really interesting. I'm just I know I feel in this conversation, I'm talking a lot about just trust and
but that's huge.
Yeah.
To me, it's huge.
Well, I think the reason I'm really angling that is because you had an employer in a workplace you couldn't trust and you could never let your guard down, and so how can we be that for you? And also, it will get taken advantage of, and us not getting cynical about it. I would say, I don't want to say it often, but bags get in and they absolutely take advantage of the kind workplace that we have or the flexible workplace that we have. And just
but typically they've smashed themselves on the way out.
Exactly. Yeah. They burn the bridge for sure. And so that's the thing is just we try not to get cynical because turnover is just the state of things with this industry. And even no matter how great you are, it just is what it is of like, okay, we just had somebody quit without notice 2 nights ago. Right. Like, we're not all just saying, guess we should just close up shop because that's how people are. They're just shitty. And it's like, if we let that get to us, it just...
we would get eaten up.
Yeah, we would get eaten up, but the business would have to go under because this is the name of the game in this industry specifically is you're going to deal with turnover. You're going to deal with bullshit clients. And I mean, I would love to talk about some bullshit clients with you if that would be good. Specifically, one of the stories that actually inspired the SOS feature in ZenMade is Hannah's story. Yeah. So do tell, Hannah. You can tell the story. I've told it before, but you'll, in your own words, tell.
So we were assigned, another cleaning tech and I were assigned
a first-time clean.
Yep, a first-time clean, but it was like a...
It's odd, right? Yeah.
No, it was like a caring one.
Yeah, like the state was kind of paying for it, I believe, or something, you know, like
I'm not sure.
Something, basically, the entity that set up the cleaning was not the actual individual homeowner. It was another entity. So that meant...
And it was more like a charitable thing. Like we were told, well, the story I got going in was this was a dad of 4 kids, I believe, who had terminal cancer, and he had not been doing well. So, gosh, by all means, I was like, yeah, we're going to go knock this out and make this great for everybody involved. So when the other cleaning tech and I arrived, we walked into, a house that was destructed, to say the least. Dishes, clothes, garbage, all everywhere over the house. But when we first walked in, we were, presented by a gentleman who was sleeping in a hospital bed. Who had tubes and things hooked up to him, and there was nobody else around. So we just quietly walked past. He looked like he had been sleeping. So walked past him and got started in another section of the house. I started in the bathroom, and the other cleaner had started in the kitchen. About a half an hour later or so, he woke up from his stupor and came to the kitchen to... introduce himself, maybe, because 1, he had no idea we were coming, and secondly, who were we? Yeah. And so we had kindly introduced ourselves, and, we were here to clean, and he became so excited that we were there to help him, and he didn't really know who had sent us, or again, why we were there, but he was open to having us there. However, the situation turned real sour real quick.
Well, we got a message from you guys, from the other cleaner, and just so you know, this is what's going on, but we're good.
And she had personally known him from outside the community. Yeah. Unfortunately, he was somebody who was well known around the town for not being a great guy. And so he had kind of come and gone throughout the morning. I'm going to say within an hour. Kind of making small comments about, thank God I have women here about to clean my house and make it beautiful. And those just got progressively worse.
And didn't he grab a bottle of vodka or something?
I feel like he grabbed some sort of alcoholic beverage and went to the basement. Who then came back up a few minutes later, and he was not in any state that we wanted to be dealing with, but started making comments about taking this other cleaner to the bedroom.
Yeah. Yep.
And that was the straw. I knew that whatever happened at that point, Steph was going to stand behind us, and I looked at this other cleaner and I said, you put your phone on record, you put it in your back pocket, we pack up all of our stuff. And we knew that if we confronted him, that things were going to turn south in a quick hurry. He was going to get disgruntled, angry.
You don't know. Yeah,
we
violent,
don't know.
Potentially. Yes.
And
there was guns all over the house, too.
There were loaded guns. Out of gun
Wisconsin. Yeah, exactly. So we have a belligerent alcoholic who is sexually propositioning our cleaners with loaded weapons in the house.
And they were relatively present to where he was. I mean, they were arm's length wherever he was standing. And so I knew that when we made our move, we were going to have to do it now.
That's terrifying. Were you just terrified?
So I wasn't, because I knew who I had with me, and I knew she could stand just as much as I could.
You guys were ready to kick some ass?
We were. So had I been going in with somebody else, I'm not sure.
Yeah, like one of our younger cleaners or something where you maybe felt like you had to protect her.
Yeah. Even though I still felt like that, but I knew she was going to put up as strong of a fight as I was.
So you even have to think like that is just so fucked up. Like.
Well, and honestly, that was my first, like, get out now kind of moment. So we quietly gathered our things, because he had now made his way back to the bed and put himself back to sleep. And he really thought nothing of it. Like, it was just like, hey, it's sunny outside, or it's going to rain. Like,
that was the same. Yeah. Gosh.
And so, I cleaned up my area. She cleaned up her stuff. And, we made one final swoop out and, like, ran. And I can remember messaging you guys.
Your
like it was a voice memo.
Literally, my heart was in my gut. Like, just like, oh my God, I've never heard Hannah. You sounded terrified.
I did. Yeah. And so it was so funny, because she was parked behind me. And when I started the message, I was in my car throwing my shit, like literally in, because I knew if he woke up, it was not going to be good. So it was like, just get out of his driveway. And so when I set my phone down, I put it on the back of my car, and I hit record, and I'm recording this as I'm throwing my shit in, and I was like, we're headed now, like, shit turns south, like, we're going, I'll be at the office in 6 minutes. And so I left, like, she was right behind me, we pulled out, and we left, and on the way back, I listened to my voice memo, and I am, like, shaking in my voice. And so I sent a new message, and I was like, all is well. Yeah. We are okay, but at the time it was not good. But we are all out, and we will be fine. We'll be back to the office in 5 minutes. And from there, it was a calm situation. Like, nothing happened. I just knew that we needed to get the hell out. And yet I knew, too, that you guys were going to have our back. It didn't matter what the hell happened from that point on. It could have
been, like, literally, as soon as he I remember, actually, because the other cleaner had messaged to let us know that he had grabbed a bottle of alcohol, and we said, you guys can leave right now. Yeah. And you guys declined, because you're like, we feel okay.
Yeah, and it was okay. I mean, it was getting a little sketchy, but, I mean, we like I said, the girl I was with, I knew I could handle her own, so, not that I want to put anybody in that position or for themselves.
But, of course.
But I thought, again, this guy is dying, like, we need to help him, the kids.
Yeah.
Oh, the poor kids. And so, we were going to try and stick it out, and then it was like that. And what happened, actually, was he came up from the basement, made the comment, but I walked in on it. And I could tell by the cleaner's face that it was not okay. And I looked at her, and I said, I don't know exactly what he said, but I can tell by the look on your face that it wasn't okay, so this is now we're going to go. Yeah. So she explained it after the fact, but I knew just by looking at her that it was
you guys had to get out there, and just like hearing the story, and like it still makes me emotional thinking about it, because like I think about, you guys are put in unsafe, our business is inherently potentially unsafe. You know what I mean? It's scary.
We just never know.
You just don't know.
In the middle of nowhere.
In vacation rentals, and that's scary. And, no cell reception and all of these things. And obviously, I've made it very clear, from the get-go of, safety is, our number 100%. One concern.
And I, too, I don't know how many times I emphasized that. I was like, if your gut's telling you to run, I was like, get the hell out.
And obviously we give you guys pepper gel and, anything you want. Yeah, exactly. The alarms. But yeah, and so it was really validating of or it made me feel really happy that Zen made listen to this. And again, this was one of the stories I told them last year. And then for them to come out with the SOS button was just it just makes me feel really appreciative that they're listening to us. Yeah. They're listening to us, and also this is a women-led industry, and the people doing the physical work are mostly women. And so, we are in potential danger all of the time. Every single day is potentially dangerous.
And any wife who's scheduling it is thinking my husband would never.
Yeah,
and not never going to look at them.
Yeah, and that's the hard part is when we have to tell a wife hey,
Please.
your husband did this, like, and we have to cancel on
That's
you.
an awkward situation.
Yeah, exactly. It's terrible.
Jeez.
Yeah. It's a very good.
Why'd you leave home?
Yeah.
Your husband came home.
Yeah, exactly. It came on to me or whatever. It's just, it's a very like unique industry in that, we're alone in people's spaces, and that puts us, in a vulnerable position for sure.
And most normal guys hide from us.
Yeah, they're so
they come
awkward.
home
Yeah.
When they see our car, they're not in any eyesight of us if they want anything.
It's like me if like there's a plumber or like electrician in my house. I'm like, I don't even know what to do with myself right now. Like, I'm
not gonna stand and stare at you, but
vacuuming the ceiling. Like, what do I do right now? I can't just like sit down on the couch and relax. That'd be weird, right? But yeah, no, it's it just, and obviously like you're a very like confident, like self-assured person, and not all of our techs are like that.
True that.
Just really facilitating that confidence of, we will have your back, whatever the reason is. I don't care how minor it is. Like, whatever the thing is, you leave.
Yeah.
Just leave. You will never be in trouble for it. And it's just something that like is forever something that we are going to emphasize. Like, I'm trying to think of any other particular challenges that, you faced during this time. Does anything come to mind, or like different, even the phases of the business? Like, this is something I asked Ashley V as well, of like, what has stood out to you as the growth and changes of Serene Clean? Like, is there anything that like you're like, oh, that was a big step, or XYZ, or blah blah blah?
I mean, I think there's been just implementing the benefits, or one, asking us what we want, and taking that even into slight consideration is huge. But watching us grow. I mean, the numbers, we always talk about the numbers. So listening to that, I love to hear the number. We should be going up.
Yeah, right.
We're at this low.
You know revenue.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, let me interrupt myself here. You have transitioned from cleaning tech, who has been, exposed to some, but not all, now to being privy to all of the business. What has that been like? Because I have been burned before taking cleaning tech into a more, you're not a manager, but you are, what I mean, whatever you are, your hybrid position is, you are exposed to information that otherwise techs are not. And so what has that been like for you to now see all of this stuff?
It's enlightening, because now, here's the positive behind it now, because when you guys talk about things, I now have a full picture. You
understand.
Yeah, I get the full picture. And sometimes, of course, with my on-call position, I'm not always attending in the meetings or present in them, but knowing, like, why?
Yeah, why?
Yeah. And you're huge on telling us why. Like, if we're going to implement something to the rest of the techs, we always tell them why. Yep. They might not like it. I'm going to be honest. They
not buckets. We changed the buckets.
But again, discussing the why behind it, and any of my other companies, they'll be like, no, this is the policy. Why are you asking why?
Yeah, like, just comply. Yeah,
just comply. And it's funny now that we are a little more on top of them and holding them to accountable. And they're like, well, why though? And it's like, well, everything is based on your accountability. If you can't just simple follow rules, and it's not like we're super harsh or have a ton of them, it's little basic things. But when we change things, like the mop buckets, we need to be utilizing them because there's a specific reason why. And if you want to be told 50,000 times why, by all means, we'll have the conversation. But you can't just continue to not do it and then be like, oh, well, why are you throwing that against me now? Well, you've been told for 3 months.
Yeah, that this is what's happening. And so, and even like, I know just like the buy-in in general, or just a buy-in overall of like, why is good quality important? And like, that's been something I try to emphasize, of like, when like your guys's like livelihoods are directly tied to high quality cleaning. We lose one big commercial account, that's huge.
It's huge.
Or we start losing residential, and like that negative word of mouth because of quality, we don't even know the ramifications of it. Like nothing matters more than quality. Well, safety. But second to safety, quality is the most important thing, because we can do nothing if we do not have the best quality. And so it's just like that's all that matters, and everything else like tumbles down from it. Because if we know we're doing a great job and like the product, if you will, is good, then it can't be that.
We'll succeed.
But we will succeed, and then it's just simply perhaps a marketing or it's a hiring problem, right? But at the end of the day, it will never be a quality problem because I just don't want to have a shit product.
Right.
It's not like this is my name, this is your name, this is all of our names on it, and
I take such pride in that when I do it. And it's crazy to me. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, that's why you're here, Hannah, and other people aren't. So.
It just doesn't make sense to me sometimes. Like, why wouldn't you try?
Yes. And so really tying
throw in the towel.
Exactly. And just really tying your performance affects all of us, and that allows us to do a ton of donations. It allows us to give away cleanings and help people. It allows us to just do a lot of wonderful things. Quality allows us to add benefits and literally tying their
making their life better.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like the only way we can do that is if we kill it cleaning. We do not want people to ever cancel because of quality. We want it to be because we're too expensive.
Yes. That is a dreadful day.
Yeah.
I canceled my
cleanings that suck. We never want that to be the reason. And so just really focus. And honestly, that's been your position has just like a lot. Like I feel like we're just killing it when it comes to like that has been so much better, and just like all of the problems, when we do get a complaint, it's just there's so much that has to happen with that, and it's really demoralizing.
Yeah,
and then we feel like we got to like beat it into their heads of like, okay, don't do that.
Right.
Check the edges of the floors. Like you know what I mean?
I sort of hesitate. Like when I ask people in the commercial accounts too, like, how's it going? Tell me something we can improve on. And they're like, well, I can't really think of anything. And it's like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's like if there's nothing that stands out as bad, it's like, that's fantastic. And then to share that and get like, again, creating that sense of pride in our techs, and just, it makes them like, at the end of the day, if you are just like cracking the whip on them and just punishing them and they're just afraid of being punished, then, they're going to do the bare minimum so that they don't get punished.
Right.
Whereas like if it's this sense of internal pride and value system, and that's something I mentioned in April's interview, was like April's values. Well, really all of you guys, but like specifically I was talking about April with like, the military background and like, abhorrent to laziness. Yeah. She, taking pride in work and having this really strong, like, value system of service. And obviously like you have that too. You have this very strong attraction to being of service. You are absolutely like super hardworking. Like you have this crazy, work ethic. I just feel like you don't get tired. I don't know when that's possible. But like,
it happens at about 11:30 p.m. I fucking crash. That's why I can't do anything around me. I have no idea.
And just like a really strong sense of like, mission, I guess. Like you understand our mission.
Yes.
And it's like,
I take pride in conquering the mission.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it's just really exciting, and that's where it's just like I feel like my role is to like help, I guess, motivate and keep reminding of the mission. And but honestly, it's just kind of been taken a life of its own. Like you guys do it for me to the point of like I don't need to like be this hard hitter of like this is why we're doing it, guys. Like you guys start to do it yourselves, and obviously we're there to remind you of like this is why it's important. But I think it's just really like honestly like. The business that has been built is just like, it's like, it's so amazing. I take so much pride in it, obviously, but like, it really feels like it's been a group effort. Like and obviously like it is technically mine, but it's ours. Like that's how I see it, cause like we built this, like I couldn't have done it without this core group of people,
Yes. I'm very grateful to be a part of it. I can't wait. We're going to do so great.
I know. It's only 6 years in.
I know.
Yeah. And obviously for our, our overlord ZenMaid, like you have used ZenMaid since day one. What's it been like going from cleaner to now you are kind of like a field manager, if you will? Like how has ZenMaid allowed you to do your job from cleaning tech to now what you do now?
Well, I think just them listening to us and where we're struggling and or what we're needing to fix or make better.
Yeah.
I think is the biggest thing. I think there's a few things coming up that are going to make it huge. And there's a few things that I sit back and I'm like, oh gosh, is that really the best thing for us? Mm-hmm. And in the field, would that work? Because that's where I think it's a little bit different. You guys are seeing the clerical side of things and is it really feasible out there
for the techs? And that's like what I love is like one, yeah, we do get a little special insight of like they get a lot of insight for their changes from us, and that's why I like running it by like especially you, because it's like, okay, we're thinking of this as office managers, but from a cleaner perspective, what would make the cleaner's job easier?
And what's realistically going to get done?
Exactly.
So I think I might be the bearer of bad news on that sometimes, because I'm like, dude, they ain't never going to do that. Yeah. You want them to do that, they ain't never going to do it. But the honesty
from a notes perspective.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Or get what we mean when we say it that way.
Exactly. Yep.
And I think that's the biggest communication breakdown is even down to like how we clean it, like the wipe versus dust, or just the verbiage, and getting it all straight line across. But back to ZenMaid. For me, I can see both sides of it. Like I'm in the office sometimes, and then when I'm out in the field, I still have access to all
your appointments. Yep.
So I can see it, and I can navigate through it either way.
And even seeing, like, for you doing quality checks, perhaps off the cuff, like being able to see where the cleaners are.
Right.
You know, in the field, like you're out in your car and you're like, oh, like, let me go QC this person.
Yeah. And there too, I can just pull up the cleaner, see where they're at, break down by towns. I can do really however I want, and figure that information out in a pretty snappy manner.
Yeah, it just makes it a lot easier, especially at our scale. You know, we're talking about hundreds of clients, dozens of cleaners, and it's your responsibility to make sure they got their shit together. So that's a lot, Hannah. And so
some days are better than others.
Yeah, some days are better than others. But yeah, definitely, we're definitely big on softwares and systems that make it easier. Yeah, and just forever improving. Yeah, as automated as possible, no paper as much as possible, except in our checklist, and I'll die on that hill. Printed checklist.
I was a little bit concerned because I wasn't sure if she was on the paper checklist. I'm a paper checklist girl.
Yes. Well,
it just is so much.
The clients love it. The clients love it too, from a marketing and branding perspective, for sure. But yeah, it really has been a whirlwind since you have come along, and I just can't believe you have evolved and just like really, I feel like taking the reins, and
well, I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think I can do it until I can prove you that I can do it, and then we're gonna start another job.
Yes, exactly. Only up from here. So as you guys can see, I have been incredibly lucky with all of my key players, if you will, and just been really blessed to find such wonderful people who take up the torch of my original mission and like fly it just as hard as if it was their own original mission, and now it's our mission. So it's really amazing. And at that, Hannah, thank you. This has been my longest. I mean, we could babble for like hours, as you guys can see. So